The awesome thing about this shed, you don't need any saws, any nailers, nothing. All you need is a screw gun and a level. And depends how tall you are, you might want a step ladder. First thing you want to do is take the crate apart, take the screws out of the plywood. You want to take the screws out of this upright. Put the band. Set this to the side. You want to make sure you have a level surface to put your shed on. If it is not level, you will need to use some blocks and block it up. We're going to take the floor off. First thing you want to do is make sure it's level. Once everything is level, you're ready to put the back wall in place. You want to make sure the studs are upright, and the part where the siding is even with the studs goes on the top. When placing the back wall, you want to put this on the mark, and you want the siding in against your floor. Go ahead and put your screws. Make sure you're in against the whole way across. And when it is windy, I recommend having somebody hold this wall, but if it's a still day, you should be able to leave it alone. Set this in. Make sure that your corner trim goes over the siding. Set right on top like that. Whatever shed you choose, whether the door is on the low wall or the high wall, you want to make sure you set the wall that does not have the door first. You want to make sure the end of your wall is flush with your floor and that this is in against the floor. Go ahead and screw in. You want to make sure this corner meets. You come up here. You want to make sure these corners meet on the outside, that they're even. And then you put this screw in. Next, you want to set the wall with the door in it. This is where you want to slide the siding in behind the trim on the corner. Go ahead, push it just like that. And then you want to make sure this corner is against, and you want to make sure this wall is in against the floor. First, you want to put the screw in the bottom, and you want to make sure the wall's in against the floor. Next, you want to come up top, put this screw in. You want to make sure these two walls are tight against each other. Next, you want to come over here, make sure the wall's in against. Once you have those screws in, you can go ahead and take his brace off. Again, you want to make sure the low side lines up with the low wall. You want to put your trim right over your siding and slide that in against. Make sure it's in against your floor. You want to put the screws in the bottom first. You want to make sure this is tight in against. Next, you want to do this top. You want to make sure that's against and that it lines up. Then you want to do the front wall and the top first. Then you want to make sure this is tight in against. Next, we're going to install this roof. We're going to install these braces. See this notch out? That goes over the hinge. And this goes right on top of the door trim. Right like that. Go even on the outside. And here, you want to make sure you put your top screw in first. Back against. Even right here. Until you're in against and your wood is tight in against here. Before you put this screw in, go ahead and put this side in. Same process as over there. Once you have the back screws in, you want to put this screw in right here. You want to make sure you have 1/2 inch space right here. Next, we're going to install the roof. The 8-foot long sheds have the 2-piece roof, so we're going to show you how to do that. When it's a 6-foot long shed, it would only be 1 piece. And this overhang is always on the low wall. Take this, and you want to set it on this wall like that. Go ahead. You want to carry it up. And you want to make sure this goes up past, and then you bring it back so that the faceboard overlaps your trim. Set it down like that. You want to make sure this is in against this. Slide it over. Make sure you're down against, and tight here, and in against back here. The reason we told you to move the roof up past this wall is because of this ledge right here. Not all the sheds have this roof, so you don't need to worry about it, but with this style roof, you have a little ledge here so water doesn't get in there. So this roof needs to come up past, and it sets on top and goes back down into place. Now we're going to put the second piece in. One person goes inside. Do the same thing, you walk it up. Here you have trim overlap, so you want to make sure that you don't bump into this roof here, and you want to make sure you overlap it. Lean against, flop it down, make sure you're against here, against back here. Make sure these are together. After you have the 2 pieces installed, come around the outside and make sure all your metal is overlapped properly. Make sure your face board is overlapped properly. Go the whole entire way around and make sure everything is in its place. First thing you want to fasten on the inside is the 2 roof sections if you have 2 pieces. If the shed only has 1 roof, then you don't need to worry about this. But with it being 2 pieces, you need to put these screws in first to pull it together. Make sure this is even. Next step, you want to put these short black screws in along the side. If they fell out during shipping, you need to get some screws out of the bag that has extras in it. Do that on both sides. And then you can go and put all the screws up into the rafters on all sides. And that's it for the inside. After you have everything installed, all your screws in place, I would check the reveal of your door. If one side is closer than the other, because during your installation, something might have shifted a little bit, you can just lift one corner accordingly and block it up, and that will make the reveal correct again. When you're done installing your shed, check your door and make sure everything is against. If it's not quite against, or over the years this moves a little bit, if that happens, all you need to do is open the door, adjust this. Basically what it does, it pulls the door in or out, whichever way you need to go with it. You can do the top or the bottom. Now you could go and touch up your shed with the touch-up paint that we sent along with it.